Hi, I'm Jim Davis, and these are micro thoughts about the philosophy of voluntarism. Patience and time. A lot of people, including myself, have gone through a phase or will go through a phase where they feel like they need to break down and deconstruct every single argument that they're presented with in order to prove or disprove that somebody is right or somebody is wrong. I did this for a long time, and I ended up being wrong more often than not. Specifically, the issue was for me, if I were to just simply ask a question about, hey, could you please elaborate on what it is that you mean? Could you explain what you mean about this post? Could you explain what you mean when you say X? That right there gets more people thinking about certain things. It's less confrontational, and regardless of the fact that a lot of people want to be recognized as an authority of some sort, if we just immediately go up to somebody and say, hey, look, they're just wrong about something, that's going to instantly put up a lot of barriers, because I think people, because we're intellectual beings, because our cognitive abilities are the main staple of our entire process of learning and our power and everything that we can do concerning how we have controlled this planet more or less, why we're the dominant species on this planet, at least so we appear to be, that we need to be mindful of that. And one of the things that we can do is recognize the fact that it's very difficult to accept being told that we're wrong, because when we're wrong, it comes across as a sign of weakness. And intellectually speaking, weakness is a big deal among mankind. We don't advance because we have the strongest muscles and we run the fastest. We advance because we come up with better ideas or are able to implement ideas with a greater precision than, say, the generation before us. So when we're going up and deconstructing somebody's argument, it instantly makes a lot of people feel bad. Now, in my situation, growing up in a household where looking back, it was definitely child abuse, but it was not meant to be child abuse. It ended up being I was held back being able to think critically for myself for a long time because I was so scared of the world. The way I was raised, it was obedience. Fear was something that was normal in my life, and fear of rejection was something else that grew into with everybody else. I wanted to work hard and please people, and when I didn't get that acceptance, and sometimes it still happens to me today, when I don't get that acceptance, I'm not making a connection. And a lot of people don't give that acceptance. They don't recognize that's something that a lot of people need. So when we go up and we just deconstruct somebody's argument, and we start out with a minor compliment, and then we immediately follow it up with, this was unnecessary, this was unnecessary, this was unnecessary, this was unnecessary, and we don't explain our position by countering, by showing that we understand the position we're deconstructing, it becomes a problem. So the first and the best thing that we could potentially do in almost any one of these situations is to simply just ask, hey, listen, could you explain more about what you mean? Would you please elaborate a little bit? And a lot of people, they don't want to do that because they want to get their idea out there. They want to be seen as some sort of an authority, and they're not making a connection. And this requires somebody to do something very interesting. A lot of people, including myself, not everybody, everybody's a little different, but this seems to be the general consensus so far. One of the lowest common denominators of individuals who do this is that they want to be seen as an authority. They want to be seen as right. They want to be seen as somebody that can be trusted. But here's the deal, and you'll see this with my partner on this philosophy of voluntarism page, Danilo. He does this pretty well. He makes a connection with individuals, and he tries to ask questions when people are responding to him. At least he does this a lot of the time, and he has a very positive result from this. This is something that I do in my daily communication with other individuals. I'll ask them simple questions and try to find common themes and common ground that we can talk about. Specifically, I will ask individuals, hey, well, what is it you're trying to achieve by doing this over here? And that right there gets them to open up and to not necessarily feel defensive about what it is that they're doing, but to understand what their position is. So it kind of leaves the ball in their court, so to speak, in terms of, hey, look, now they can either choose to help educate me about why they think they're right, or they can be a complete and total butthead and just tell me to go piss off or read a book or berate me, in which case then they're showing me a number of things, typically that they really don't want to make time or understand their own philosophy, or that they don't understand their own philosophy as well as they think they do. And so when we present an argument with other individuals and we just immediately go and deconstruct everything and we don't make the time to understand their argument first, we come across as kind of subtly hostile. We don't want to do that. That's something that we want to avoid as much as possible. So if we just ask simple questions, we can make the exchange voluntary, we can encourage further voluntary exchanges, and we can get people to crave a desire to actually participate in this, because if you're being asked a question, that means somebody wants to know something about you, and they're interested in you. They're interested in understanding you. And being understood and accepted is what a lot of people want. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of patience on the individual trying to ask questions just as much as it does as the individual trying to answer the questions. And that's something that I think would be much more productive at the end of the day and in the long run than if we were to just simply go up to somebody and say, hey, look, you're a sociopath because you did this, you're a problem this, you're part of this problem over here, you obviously don't understand this. And it's just constantly beating the other people into submission to the point where we experience blowback and they never change. So if we want to really affect a positive change in the world, we need to make time to invest into other people in addition to ourselves, but ourselves first. And we were going to do that by starting to tell ourselves, hey, look, maybe I do know what the other person has to say. Maybe I don't. But let me double check myself first by simply asking them a question. Could you please explain what you mean by that statement? For now, I'd like to thank you for your time. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and give it a thumbs up. I base all of my work on my books, Liberty Defined and Morality Defined. If you'd like to encourage more content like this, please visit my website, jimlimberdavis.com, to explore more of my works, download free copies of my books, and consider donating even just $1. Every dollar helps. Thank you so much for taking a peacefully proactive solution and raising humanity's pinnacles of success faster and more efficiently through peaceful comprehension and creation instead of hostile ridicule and destruction.